It's 11 o'clock, the signal's strong. We've been gone a week, but it ain't too long. Scott's in the booth, Keith rolls it tight. After dark is back, and it feels so right. Welcome back to After Dark. Welcome back, let's make our mark. Stories and smoke drift through the air. Laughter and heat, yeah, we'll take you there. No rules tonight, just a groove we keep. After dark returns, awaken from the deep. Welcome back to After Dark. Welcome back, yeah, light that spark. Oh. Organ takes a lead, swirling with intensity. Guitar answers with slide licks. Caution drive steady, keeping the trance alive. We're back again. Scott on the sound, Keith in the haze. Every Friday night, 11 Central, baby. Keith's got a blunt, smoke curls like art. Scott shaping the show, piece by piece, part by part. Turn it up loud, let the midnight roll. Powers point groove, gonna shake your soul. Welcome back to After Dark. Welcome back, yeah, we own this bar. Getting out ugly, because how it goes out after done. we're all in. It's the Powers Point After Dark, where the truth hits harder than a question mark. Laying down laughs, sometimes we spark. You never know what you'll hear after dark.
Welcome back to the Powers Point After Dark, episode 7. Tonight, we're asking the question, strange pickup lines, do they actually work? Now, let's be honest. Pickup lines are like karaoke. Most people shouldn't try them, but they still do after a couple of drinks. You've heard the tired old ones a million times. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Yeah, because nothing says romance like reminding someone they just face planted. Then there's, are you a magician? Because every time I look at you, everyone else disappears. Congratulations, you just turned flirting into a disappearing act, mainly her interest disappearing. And let's not forget the Hall of Shame, stuff like, are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see. That's one's been around so long, it should come with a social security check. Or, do you have a map? Because I keep getting lost in your eyes. No, man, you don't need a map. You need a new hobby. Some of these lines are so bad they sound less like flirting and more like cry for help poetry. And yet, here's the crazy part. They still get used. Why? Because even the worst lines can sometimes work. Not because they're smooth, but because they're so ridiculous they make someone laugh. And laughter? That's a guarantee you're in. Now let's switch gears for a second. Picture it. You're at a bar, lights are low, music's just loud enough to make you lean in close. As I look around, that's kind of how P3 Studio is. But instead of some recycled one-liner, you toss out something strange like, excuse me, do you believe in fate? Because I think we both just grabbed the same nacho. Now, that's not cringe, that's memorable. Or maybe you get clever with, if I were to ask you out, would your answer be the same as the answer to this question? And yeah, that one's confusing as hell. But if it gets a smile, you've already won. Because here's the truth. No one remembers the perfect, polished conversation starter. They remember the weird ones. They remember the confidence. They remember that you were bold enough to try. You could tell someone, are you Wi-Fi? Because I'm really feeling a connection. And if you say it with a grin, it's not creepy. It's charming. So tonight, we're going to break them down. Which strange pickup line actually opened the door? Which one slams it shut? And most importantly, does anyone out there have a story where a line is so cheesy, so out of left field, it actually worked? So stick around. We are about to find out. We will be back in 1 minute.
Attention, all knife enthusiasts and metal lovers. At Motley Forge, we specialize in handcrafted knives, cleavers, swords, and more. We also make jewelry, bracelets, pendants, and keychains. Each piece is meticulously crafted by Johnny himself, with attention to detail and top-notch quality. Whether you're a collector or looking for a unique gift, Motley Forge has got you covered. Our collection features a diverse range of designs from sleek and modern to rustic and traditional. So check out the one-of-a-kind gifts at Motley Forge, a bladesmith and blacksmith out of Northwest Indiana. Follow him on Instagram at Motley_Forge. Motley Forge, creating art through an ancient craft.
You know, I kind of wait for the commercial to completely end, Keith, because I always think JB's going to do it to us again with the ye old house of toys. Where he breaks it down and then starts going again.
Yeah, he got pops with that last week too.
Hey, for those that are joining us right now, man, we really appreciate it. I'm Scott Powers, and with me, this guy is like killer to have as your co-host, man, because works just as hard as you. So I'm talking about the one and only, the man from Toledo, Keith Mackey.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate being back.
It's been a pretty wild week again this week. As you know, I discussed last week that I was going to take my brother up on a dare and go to play in a high school band again, man. I haven't played in the band in 36 years. That's aging myself. I did it. I did it, man. I was nervous that I wouldn't be able to have a sound through the euphonium, because you got to get your lips set right. You got to start breathing from your diaphragm, not your like blowing hard into, like I'm not trying to look like Dizzy Gillespie on the euphonium. And dude, I grabbed my euphonium that I used to play. It was mine. And the reason I know it is because I bent the valve when we first got it because I dropped it and it's still bent. So it was like reuniting with an old friend.
Did it give you a sense of euphonium?
Dude, it was weird, man, because when I was in the band, we had like 90 people in the high school band, right?
Yeah.
This band had 7 people minus plus 3 that for me and one that graduated last year and another one that graduated 2 years ago. That was weird to see.
It was there any rehearsals?
No.
That's what I
No.
was wondering when you sent me that video earlier. It's like, is this rehearsal or is this you just gonna run right out of the gate dry, huh? That's interesting.
So I got there like a little bit early, man, because one, I like to be places early. And hey, everybody that's here real fast, I just want to say welcome back to the Powers Point, man. We really appreciate you joining us tonight. Sean, Mo, I think Dave's a little under the weather, or he's just sleeping in his brand new lazy boy and hasn't gotten up yet. But no, man, it's weird, and I was definitely the oldest person in that room.
Wow.
But
But it was only one other alumni coming back, so it was like, it's not like there were 90 people in the band and you were the oldest. You were the oldest out of 2 adults and 5 teenagers, right?
17s, and then me
17s? Okay.
and one of them was Stroke Time, who I never really got to watch play drums, man. And for those that don't know, Stroke Time's my little brother.
Yeah.
And that dude was awesome on the drums, man.
Yeah, he was tearing the skins up.
And like everybody's reading music and he's just going with the beat and making up his own as he's going by.
Nice. Yeah. Now does he have a drum set at home?
He's got an electric drum set and a full drum kit.
Wow.
He calls it his music room, but the boy don't practice, man.
Gotcha. We have a kid across the street who practices the drums. I use that term very loosely, but he's in there every day. Some days it sounds like he's just having a straight temper tantrum because there's no type of beat actually going on. But I don't know. I guess he's doing it.
And I think the bad thing is I think some kid I think ran out of the school and got hit by a car.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because an ambulance, they stayed in one section and they had police like kind of blocking off, and then that ambulance hauled ass. I don't know if the student died or if he lived. because from what I heard, he got smacked or she got smacked. I don't know if it's a he or she, but it was going through everybody's cell phone, while everybody's sitting in the bleachers. And yeah, that was welcome back to Lake Station.
Good Lord, that's terrible, man. That's
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, I agree, man. And dude, it's so weird when you're sitting in the football stands in the bleachers where you always sat for band playing your instrument, and some of the songs I didn't have music for because he thought that I was a bass clef euphonium when I'm a treble clef.
Okay.
And bass clef is like if you take an A, it would be an F in bass clef, and it's like 2 octaves down, and I don't have time to sit and study that, man, like.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so I called the one trumpet player over, and I was like, "Dude, play this line for me." And then I just watched his fingers, and then I didn't need music. So everything I was playing, I memorized.
There you go. There you go.
And
That's cool, man. That's a great skill that you were able to lean on that and use it when you need it. That's pretty slick.
and then the new band teacher, he's like, "Play draws, man, play draws."
Ha.
And I was like, this is on the football field on the fly, man. And I'm like, man, dude, I haven't hit those low notes in a long time. And then I just said, heck with it. I asked him what key he wanted me to start in, man. And then, yeah, it was really good.
That's pretty cool. So you can read music then, at least loosely?
Oh, I can read music 100%.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
I was in like high school band or band from like 5th grade all the way to graduation.
Okay.
And then even in the army, when I'd come home on leave and it would be like basketball season or whatever, after I'd already graduated, I would stop in and play in the pep band
Oh, wow.
just because I had fun.
Right, right. See, I can read it to the like I can figure it out and then go back, you know what I mean? But it's like I can't my grandmother could just look and play piano and whatnot just by just by reading the music and like that. But like yeah, I can't do it right off the spot. You know what I mean? I could figure it out and then go back and do it again.
Hey, we're getting quite a few people in the room, and I just want to say welcome to Powers Point After Dark. Let me tell you what we are about real fast, and you could choose to stay, which we hope you do. So, we talk about anything and everything here. We don't talk religion, we don't talk politics. We are not starting fights amongst friends, we are not starting fights amongst family at the dinner table. This is a non judgmental zone, so all we ask is that anybody, if you're first time here, be cool, man, be kind with each other, man, and uh, it's gonna be fun, man. Because every show we try to give you a laugh or two, but from what I heard, no more than 3, uh,
Yeah, I heard that on a show once
or twice or
or
3
twice.
times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we appreciate, and tonight, just to let you know, we got another action-packed night. We got Blunt Talk with Keith. We got Beyond the A side, where we take not we, but Keith takes music that hasn't been in the spotlight that should been in the spotlight, if that makes sense. Uh, I'm sorry for my voice because I was like yelling for football and all this blowing in the euphonium, man. Like took everything out of me. Uh, and then we're going to be talking about strange pickup lines, and I've got quite a bit. And Keith, what have you been up to, bro?
Well, it's obviously last week's title didn't prove as prophetic as I would have liked it to, but we ended up taking Pops out to our local nuclear power plant. If anyone knows around the Toledo area, we have one called Davis Bessie, and they
Yeah.
had a slick little car show and like a festival, kind of like a little carnival that we all went to for free. We took the dogs and my daughter, my wife, and my pops, and it was a good time. And they had a bunch of cars, and they had a bunch of attractions. Really, they had free snow cones and uh, oh, let me see. It's a bunch of slick old cars, a bunch of food, some giveaways, raffles, things like that. A couple people noticed, I guess, my dad's T-shirts and was asking about the show, so I was out there shaking a few hands, introducing a few. So if you happen to listen to the show tonight, and I met you at the Davis Bessie Festival, it was nice meeting you. It was a fun time, and I hope you enjoy.
Right on, right on. And you said quite a few people asked about his teacher because he was wearing a blunt time, right?
He was actually wearing a Blunt Talk with Keith Mackey shirt, and that's something. So it's like, well,
And
here's the
then
guy, here's the actual guy.
and then you went into uh you guys walked along the beach, or were you guys just hanging
We
out
did,
there?
yeah, yeah. We ended up taking the dogs to the beach, and then actually, before that, we stopped at this place called. I'm actually glad you said that because I would been remiss to have forgotten this, but it was a place called Porky's Pizza Trough, which is actually right by Davis Bessie, and it has amazing pizza. You know what I mean? It's like, like Gavin said, the pizza's amazing. Uh, but no, the pizza is like, it's probably 45 minutes from where I am here, and sometimes we drive up there just to get the pizza. You know what I mean? Because normally we don't have any other reason to go to the nuclear plant. But yeah, it's really good, and they got stuff called I think they're called pig bones, but they're basically like breadsticks. And it's an awesome restaurant, you know what I mean, fairly priced. And it's actually got like a bar and whatnot to it, but they have like the side room that they do like catering and whatnot. And when I went in to get my pizza, the bar was packed and they let me go into the catering room by myself and wait for my pizza. So I actually had the camera on me, so I busted the camera out and got a few shots in there. And I did a lot of recording at the Davis Bessie Festival and at the beach. So with the fact that I'm getting back into doing some video editing and whatnot lately, I'll definitely be putting those together. And I don't know, maybe showing the world. I kind of doubt it, but you know what I mean. I'm sure you'll see it, Scott.
Let me ask you, man.
Yes, sir.
So you walk into this pizza place,
Mhm.
walk up to the counter, you put your order in. What do you order?
We just get normally pepperoni, and pepperoni and cheese. My daughter only likes cheese pizza, but she'll handle the pepperoni. But um, we don't tend to agree with the toppings here. If it was anybody but me, they would normally get supreme, pizza with all the gimmicks on it. You know, what I mean, the onions and the green peppers and the whatnot. My personal favorite pizza, I like the Hawaiian pizza. I know people say you're not supposed to put pineapple on pizza, but I quite enjoy pineapple on pizza. But I like pepperoni, pineapple, and maybe some bacon on there. So that would be my favorite pizza. But I haven't had that kind from Porky's yet. But I believe I probably should.
It's hard to believe that the Hawaiian pizza actually started in Canada.
Is that right? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Hey,
So see, like me, I could do pepperoni if it's like the last thing, but I'm a sausage extra cheese kind of guy. Maybe throw some mushrooms on
okay,
and some onion. And I always like a hand toss,
right.
you know. Lots of places in Chicago, deep dish. But I
Oh,
think
being
it's just
right by there, yeah, that's got to be. You've had to have had the legit Chicago deep dish then.
it's just sometimes too much. And if you don't eat it fresh, the crust gets like clay. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's not a and that's one of the only places that I can only do like one slice because it's so
right,
damn big.
right. There's a place in Elkhart. I believe it's called Pizzanello's because my cousin used to call it Pizza Nose. So I think that's what it's called is Pizzanello's or something like that. But or no, it's Columbo's actually in Elkhart. And I remember going there when I was a child because I had aunt and uncle that lived there at the time that they're the ones that ended up moving to Florida. But yeah, that was some pretty good pizza. I wonder if that place is still there.
You know, the first person I wrestled, man, his name's Dave. Him and his wife, they own this pizza place, and they always want us to do a live podcast from I, I want to say it's Aurelio's. Uh, it's good pizza, man, but it's like 45 minutes to an hour away, and
Okay.
I just haven't packed up the equipment to move that way.
Right. Which direction would it be? 45 minutes
Towards you.
towards me? Okay. See, that would make my, if we were to meet there, that would make my drive shorter.
That would be it's not too far from like South Bend.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's in LaPorte.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I can't remember passing through if we
No,
passed through
no,
the port or
man.
not.
It's
Okay.
usually dark when you're passing through.
Oh my goodness. That actually reminds me that I never did call out the number from the contest from the backbreaker, and the number actually had to do with the drive home. When we were driving home, so actually I might as well call the number out now, not that anybody's going to claim it, but might as well say it. When we were driving home, the closer we got to home, like I was fine almost the whole way, and then it got to where it said the trip counter said 40 miles from home. And I said, okay, well, man, I should really start noticing something. But it was nothing but completely dark road, no street lights, nothing. And then it was 30 miles from home, 20 miles from home, 15 miles from home. And it was the same thing. I'm like, this is insane. It's like, I don't know, I guess the Heather got the GPS to do like no highways. And so it took us like all these dark back roads, and it was scary as heck to me. And I said, all right, well, when we hit the spot where I feel like I'm comfortable again, that's when we hit that mile marker. That's going to be the number I announced to win the shirt. And we did not hit that spot, and I did not feel comfortable until we were 9 miles from home. So if by chance you got shirt number 9, contact the show at powerspointpodcast@yahoo.com and let us know you won, and I will make you your prize pack.
So for those that are listening, Keith gave away a ton of free swag, and at the wrestling show and on here, he gave away to a couple of the listeners, and whoever had the winning number on their package, right?
Yeah, it was written on the see, I took Amazon paper and made makeshift gift bags out of them. So I made over 30 gift bags out of recycled Amazon paper. So there you go. There's my planet Earth guy stuff for the
And
for the year.
whoever won gets some kind of Powers Point After Dark package.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
that'll depend. That'll depend on if anybody actually claims it or not. I kind of doubt it, but I don't know. You never know. You never
Mhm.
know. I would like if they would.
So that was number 9.
Yeah, number 9, number 9, number 9. For Beatle fans out there,
Hey,
thank you, Mo. You're a great guy too, buddy, and you're very welcome for the shirt.
I'm still getting pictures, man, of people like Kendra, the nurse.
Yeah,
She
that's
wears
that's awesome, man. That makes me feel good.
that Powers Point shirt everywhere.
Yeah, see,
I'm not
that's
saying
definitely worthy of a few
she
more.
never changes her clothes, but uh, she wears it everywhere.
Hey, if it's that comfy shirt, that's like, well, I like this one because it's comfortable. I dig that. Like I said, that's definitely worthy of a couple more. you know,
Right on, right on.
especially if she likes the tie dyes. I'm still sitting good on the tie dye.
I had the Powers Point After Dark long sleeve, and it was hot here all day, and I was like, "Please, Lord, let's get this weather cold, tonight, so I can wear this long sleeve shirt comfortably."
Yeah.
And
Now
then
I
they
have
told,
I have a similar shirt. Do you feel like the cuffs on the wrist are like abnormally tight?
no, no,
See, mine feels like it is. I had to kind of pull mine up to the forearms a little bit because if I don't know, it almost felt like it was like had me in handcuffs. You know what I mean? Like loose handcuffs.
it, I had the shirt on, but then I couldn't wear it on the outside because for band, they asked everybody to wear like a red shirt, the
Right.
school
I've seen
colors.
that.
So
I've seen that.
I was like, I only wear black, So before I left work this morning, I ordered a red T-shirt off of Amazon, and dude, by the time I got home, it was sitting on my front step.
Wow.
That's service.
Yeah, that's service. That's
So
service. I was the fact when I saw you in the red T-shirt, like, wow, that's different.
yeah, it felt weird, man. It felt weird.
Red T-shirt and a tuba, not the picture I would have been expecting.
I'm like the modern day Johnny Cash when it comes to wearing black, because
Absolutely.
that's all I got. So, hey, when we come back, we're going to take a quick break or a song break. I'm sorry. Uh, and if anybody's got to go to the restroom, now's the time to do it. You got 4 minutes, and then when we come back, we are going to be doing blunt talk
Wow.
with Keith, man, which I always look forward to because I don't ever ask him what he's going to say. I don't care because I know it's going to be entertaining. So sit back, refill your drink. Hope you enjoy this song. It's called Wicked Tongue.
Your eyes cut sharp like a jagged blade. Promise fire in the mess you made. Every word drips in, every line's a crime. You pull me closer, I toe the line.
Your kiss is poison, sweet and slow, burning hotter than you let me know. Can't resist the spell you weave. One taste of you and I can't leave.
Whispers crawling, breath undone. Dangers hiding in your tongue. Wicked tongue, cut me deep, drag me down where the shadows creep. Wicked tongue, no place to run, lost forever once the deal's begun.
Velvet chains, they bind so tight. You own the dark, you rule the night. Every secret spills in heat. One more lie and I'm complete.
Blood red lips and a serpent smile keep me tangled all the while. I'd sell my soul just to hear your name, 'cause heaven's gone once you play that game. Whispers crawling, breath undone. Dangers hiding in your tongue. Wicked tongue, cut me deep, drag me down where the shadows creep. Wicked tongue, no place to run, lost forever once the deal's begun. Taste the fire,
I can't resist,
every promise
turns to mist.
wicked hunger, wicked need. Your wicked tongue makes my soul believe. Wicked tongue, cut me deep, drag me down where the shadows creep. Wicked tongue, no place to run,
It's back to school time. Let Sticking Together by JK on Etsy add something special to your new season. Show pride with car decals, labeled dorm and school supplies, or organized totes with all your free time. Whatever you need, Sticking Together by JK on Etsy is your one-stop shop for personalization and decor needs.
All right, welcome back to the show. If you are just joining us, this is Powers Point After Dark. We like to have fun here. We like to have a laugh or two, but no more than three, as I said. This is a safe zone for people, non-judgmental. You know, I always say this is like one huge digital table where everybody has a chair and it's like friends sitting around just shooting a shit, having a laugh, and we hope you're enjoying it. But now every show's got its heartbeat, and this is ours. It's the time when we push the small talk aside, dim the lights again a little more, and let the conversation get real. Keith's in the chair. The vibe is smooth, and nothing's off the table. Whether it's a story that makes you laugh until you choke, or a truth that hits harder than a shot of whiskey, you never quite know what's coming, except that it'll be a blunt, and it'll be Keith. So here's Blunt Talk with Keith.
It's time for Blunt Talk. Here's Keith Mackey.
And it's another Friday night in East Toledo. You could tell about an hour ago because there was people outside screaming, which there tends to be sometimes here in East Toledo. Sometimes at me, sometimes it's the neighbors. But anyway, time for some blunt talk, and I'm Keith Mackey. So per usual, as I start off talking about UFC, there was no UFC card last week. So my record still stands at 8-3 for fight predictions. And tomorrow, I believe it's tomorrow because I'm not sure now because it feels like they just weighed in. So maybe they may not be fighting until Sunday because the card is in Perth, Australia. But it is Carlos Ulberg versus Dominic Reyes. And that's the only fight I'll be predicting. And so from what they're saying, ticket sales ain't doing too good for that card. And I've seen ticket prices were dropping, some from $600 to $100. You know, that's a pretty big drop. But I believe that is on the strength of what they gave the Australian fans, because the first time they were in Australia, they got Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm. Other times they got Israel Adesanya. Other times they got Robert Whittaker. This time, you know, Carlos Ulberg, nothing, you know, no knock on him, but I don't really feel like he's there in star power yet because he's not. For one, he's not the most exciting fighter. He's a little bit of a safe stay behind, you know, his jab and his more, again, more, you know, safer, I guess, techniques. He's not necessarily one to go out there and brawl and bang. And I just don't necessarily think the fans are behind him. At least not at this level. Maybe a year from now would have been a little better to have put him on the main event. But with that being said, I do believe he will get the win done against Dominic Reyes. I think Reyes is on a comeback, but he's still not, you know, there's a difference between being on a comeback and being on the rise like Ulberg is at the time. And I believe whereas Reyes is trying to get back to something, you know, Ulberg has been on a steady climb of improvement. And he's, you know, been knocking off higher and higher caliber opponents. And I think now is just going to be his time to get the win here. You know what I mean? To get in and get it done. And I don't see it particularly being exciting, even though he said he's going to go in for the kill. I don't necessarily see any finish happening. And if anybody gets finished, it could be because I'm wrong and Reyes wins the fight. But that's what I see is a 5-round decision for Carlos Ulberg. And I believe that will conclude the UFC talk, at least for this week. Now, also speaking of ticket prices, I saw a guy from Ticketmaster was recently talking about how he felt like ticket prices were, if anything, too low, and that spending, what did he say, $70,000 for a courtside seat for the Knicks is like a badge of honor. I don't know who told that guy to say that. Obviously, it's in his best interest to try and put that kind of, I guess, thought in the world, but I do not agree with that. I don't know anybody, even if they could afford it, would want to pay $70,000 to go see the Knicks. You know, and I don't know how good they are. They could be good right now. I know they were my team when I did watch basketball, but I ended up seeing them lose in the finals to the Houston Rockets in, I believe, 1994, 95, something like that. And I think that was the last that I ever steadily watched basketball because I don't know. I realized I didn't really give a shit that much when they lost, you know, but that's just prices of tickets are ridiculous. I remember going to see rock and roll shows. Particularly, I went and saw a band that I've talked about before from Chicago named Local H. They had a tour that was called the Six Ways to Sunday Tour, meaning the ticket price was $6. T-shirts were $6 and CDs were $6. And that was as rocking as any concert as I've ever been to, you know? And they got it done for low dough. Now, if you look at old like Nirvana tickets, you would see their tickets were like $15, $25 at the most. I remember seeing an interview where Kurt Cobain was talking about worrying that $25 was going to outprice his audience, you know, but obviously that wasn't the case. I'm sure people might at this point would love to pay $70,000 to go see Nirvana as opposed to the Knicks, but you know, I guess that's the tickets they offer. You can't go see them. I wouldn't mind seeing a hologram, but I guess that ain't quite the same. Also on the concert front, not necessarily a concert, but the Lilith Fair has a documentary now on Hulu. I did not watch this documentary yet because it didn't have a runtime on it, and all it said was that it was culminated from 600 hours. So in my mind, I assume that it's a 600-hour documentary, and that was kind of cracking me up throughout the day. So I didn't watch it quite yet, but I might check it out. I never attended Lilith Fair, but it did have some good groups on it that I liked, you know, quite a bit. I love Sinead O'Connor, a huge fan of hers, and they also had Suzanne Vega, and I believe PJ Harvey might have played Tegan and Sarah. But there's quite a few, and I actually have a funny story. My friend Johnny Salami worked security for many years, and the show that actually got him fired, I believe, was either a Lilith Fair or it was a Sarah McLachlan concert, because he was backstage working the dressing room, as I was told, and that Sarah McLachlan offered him a plate of food, and he accepted it. And so whoever was running the security company came in, saw Johnny Salami sitting there eating the food, which he said was some of the best country cooking he's ever had, and they ended up letting him go. Now, that wasn't necessarily his first incident. He had gotten in trouble previously for carrying Billy Joe from Green Day on his shoulders. I guess he was working barricade, and Billy Joe climbed onto his shoulders, and he walked him around for a little bit, and I guess at that particular point, that was a no-no. Now, my favorite Johnny Salami security story comes from about, I would say, 1998, 1999. He lived around the corner from me, so I went over to hang out with him, and he was just kind of getting up and around. And he told me he'd just seen this show the night before. He says, "Yeah, I worked security for these dudes. They're coming up right now." He says, "But I tell you what, man, they were a 3-piece group." And he says the drummer was cool, but the guitar player and the bass player were, I don't know, man. They were just kind of crybabies sitting backstage talking about their girlfriends and how bad they missed their girlfriends. And man, I had to give it to them, and I had to tell them, "You guys are fucking rock stars, man. You need to get out there and start talking to some of these women at this show. Get out there and have some fun." And he said him and the drummer was laughing at him and just clowning on him. And I believe this story to be true because Johnny Salami's not really a bullshitter, you know? And so anyway, come to find out, I says, "Well, what was the name of the band?" And turns out the two guys that he was talking about were Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus from Blink-182. And that's pretty good there. And so the drummer obviously would have been Travis Barker, which made the story make that much more sense, especially when you think about it now. You know, that guy, they would be sitting there backstage clowning on them two dudes for, you know, wanting to go home or wanting to talk to their girlfriends instead of being rock and roll stars, which, you know, I don't know if there's the same women that they ended up marrying. I hope they were. But that was some funny shit there, you know what I mean? And Johnny Salami was, you know, he's a good guy. I'd say he's still around. But, you know what I mean? He's an okay guy, but he doesn't work security anymore, doesn't work security anymore, and hasn't for a while, but he ended up coming up with some good stories and some fun shit because of that. And I guess I've talked long enough. So with that, we'll conclude Blunt Talk for this week, and I will see everybody on Beyond the A Side. Back to you, Scott.
Now, we can't go without asking this question, man. Why is the dude called Johnny Salami?
Oh, that's a great story. When I met the man, I couldn't decide whether he looked like the lead singer for Loverboy, which is Mike Reno, Salami from The White Shadow, or who was the third one? Let's see, Troy Aikman. So he was a combination of the three. So his name was actually Loverboy Troy Salami in the beginning, you know, and then eventually we kind of just whittled it down to Johnny Salami. But it was Salami 100% came from his uncanny likeness to Salami from The White Shadow, Mario Salami Petrino.
All right, I didn't know if he was like a ex-adult film star or.
Oh, I'm sure he would have enjoyed being that, but no.
Carrying
Condom
more
model, no.
Carrying more than Green Day around on his shoulders.
Yeah, there was another one. He actually said he got to stand behind Elton John's piano, like behind the curtain. So there was like he was in the same air as him on stage. You know what I mean? But like you could see, you know, Elton John was playing piano, and on the other side of the curtain was Johnny Salami. So, you know.
Hey, so TKO, man, they're really raking in the money.
They like money, don't they?
Well, like WWE goes to Paris. The following weekend, UFC has a fight in Paris. UFC's in Perth. Next week, WWE's in Perth. And I got to tell you, man, you were talking about ticket prices, right?
Yeah.
So for Front Row, 2 days, WrestleMania last year, tickets were $72,323.
My goodness.
For two. Or for one seat. And I see a lot of kids around these the seats, man. And I was just looking up how much tickets were like for package deals at Crown Jewel in Perth next week, right?
Okay.
So for a front row seat, it's the elite package, $14,950 per person.
That is like so close to the amount, the exact amount that they told me I need to get my teeth fixed. So that's I would. So somebody want to give up that ticket and give your boy some new chops here, I would love that.
It includes coming out the entranceway with Rhea Ripley, before the show starts.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, not 14,000, man.
Now, my question there is: Mommy gonna be on top? Because I know what I heard.
Here's for the
premium. Mommy's always on top.
The premium package for the first 20 rows after the front row. Okay, so it's $2,250 or $8,500.
My goodness.
And it does not include meet and greet opportunities.
Yeah, that's little tricky bullshit there, isn't it? I remember when Letterkenny was touring. For one, they were wanting to scalp us for like $700 to go see the Letterkenny live tour in the theater, and their whole meet and greet opportunity, you got to take a picture with the cast, and they stood like in a line, like almost in a single file line. They'd put the people who were taking the picture like at one end, and like Kizo was at the other end, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that looked like such a fucking ripoff. I was so disappointed with those guys, with doing it like that.
Welcome to Powers Point After Dark, Michael. Glad you're joining us. We're kind of talking about rip-off prices at the moment. The next package, Keith, from like 32, it's the lower level. You're looking at 1,400 to 1,850 per person.
My goodness.
For the
My
silver
goodness.
package, which is the upper level, that includes the nosebleed seats and the cheapest ticket you can buy, $550 to $1,250.
That's insane.
Like
That's insane.
how can like I look at the old wrestling programs and man, it's like uh two, 5 and 10 or two,
Yeah.
5 and 8. $8 was front row. And sure, that was like 20, 30 years ago, but really, how does one, if you're a parent, afford to take your child to a sporting event when, wrestling's now expensive? It used to be like the hush hush embarrassment sport where you don't even want to tell people that you went, uh,
Right.
the basketball, even like the worst team in the world, you're still paying over $1,000.
That's insane. I know, and that's just crazy. See, that makes Backbreaker look that much better, because especially when you think about what you get for a $10 ticket, man, you get 2 hours of solid fun stuff.
Right, and you get to meet the people and hang out for 15 minutes, and then you can even like bullshit with them after the show, and they don't rush you,
Right.
you know. And I've never seen nobody get rushed.
No,
So
of all the times I've been there, I've never seen anybody get rushed. In fact, we're usually not the last ones. Like when we leave, there's still usually somebody hanging out.
right, right, or fans tearing down the wrestling ring and the chairs, Keith.
Right.
Uh, uh, I turn around. Keith comes to the wrestling show for the first time. Backbreaker, for those that don't know, uh, probably the best independent wrestling promotion in Northwest Indiana. The the best family friendly show that you can go to. They don't even Keith, did you notice they don't even talk on the mics to waste time?
No, they don't really, do they?
No, and people, they kind of like stop the swearing, because some people get fired up on the mic and they might say something offensive or whatever. So that's
Right.
just eliminated. Uh, but yeah, I dig the blunt talk, dude. I do learn some here. I know that's Mo's favorite thing, man. He loves UFC,
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
and I
See,
gotta say,
that's the only thing. The UFC is the only thing I ever plan on talking about and then actually talk about. It's like usually I'm thinking I'm gonna talk about something, and then as I'm going, like I switch gears. I call audibles on the fly. I've done it the last 3 weeks.
dude, this whole show's an audible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I give you a rundown sheet like the night before or early morning, and then if anything needs to correct. But then, like 10 minutes before the show, I'm like, hey, disregard that first song, man. I got another song in its place. Uh, and I really hope you guys are enjoying this music because it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. I play the music that I feel in the mood of right now. Usually it's trance music that I play, but late tonight it's got like a bluesy sound to it. Uh, so
Well, with the autumn equinox, about this having just set in, you know what I mean? Change of season, change of sound. It's
yeah,
not a bad idea.
yeah. So I'm really hoping you dig this because man, I got a couple more songs tonight that I'm going to be playing, and they're different. Let me tell you. So we are going to take another song break. It's only 3 minutes and 12 seconds for another bathroom break if anybody needs it, or a refill. And when we come back, you know it's going to be the B on the A side. So let's hit it with Shake That Heat.
Turn it up, turn it loose. Yeah, that's the way I like it.
Baseline creeping through the floor. Sweat dripping, I'm begging for more. Body moving slick and slow. Ride that rhythm, let it go. Got that fever, can't sit still. Every move's a dirty thrill. Shake the heat, oh shake it down. Funk so filthy it owns this town. Shake the heat, let take control. Dirty groove deep inside your soul. Hands up high, now drop it low. Feel that fire start to grow. Whispers burning in the night. One more step and you'll ignite. Don't fight the feeling, don't be shy. Let that funk electrify. Shake the heat, oh shake it down. Funk so filthy it owns this town. Shake the heat, let it take control. Dirty groove deep inside your soul. Push it harder, oh yeah. Ride it longer, don't stop, don't care. Funk's my fire, burn it sweet. Take me higher, shake the heat. Oh, shake it, shake it. Dirty, dirty. Oh, funk me, baby. Shake the heat. Shake the heat. Oh, shake it down. Funk so filthy it owns this town. Shake the heat, let it take control. Dirty groove deep inside your soul.
All right, that was Shake That Heat. And we hope you liked a little bit of funk groove music this late at night, or for those out in the East Coast and further out, your morning songs. So, you've heard the hits, you've heard the stories up front, but now it's time to flip things over. Every record's got another side, and so do we. This is where we dig a little deeper, uncover the tracks that don't always make the charts, and shine a light on the stories that live in just past the spotlight. It's the space for the overlooked, the underrated, and the unforgettable, the B-sides that hit just as hard as the singles. So let's drop the needle, turn it up, and take you beyond the A-side.
Beyond the A side, where the hidden songs hide, the gems you miss, we bring back to life. Spin it again, don't let it fade. Beyond the A side, where classics are made.
All right. right, for you lovers of sound, it is Beyond the A-Side, your weekly B-side from the streets of the East Side. And last week we went to the Z side, and this week we're going all the way back to the A side and the double C side. And the double C side standing for Chris Cornell, the legendary singer for Soundgarden, Audio Slave, as well as Temple of the Dog, and a lot of his good solo work. And the first, I'm going to give you a B side from each of his marquee bands. Soundgarden, Audio Slave, and some of his solo work. So I figure we'll start off alphabetically, and we will start with Audio Slave. And the B-side I'm recommending from Audio Slave comes from their first album era, and I believe the song was recorded when they were still called Civilian. They hadn't been titled, they hadn't been given the name Audio Slave yet, which actually come from a dream Chris Cornell had. And I can dig that because I had some pretty vivid dreams that lead me to some creative decisions my own self, but not quite as slick as maybe coming up with Audio Slave. But anyway, the song is called "Turn to Gold," and if you like Audio Slave and Rage Against the Machine, it has a typical kind of Tom Morello guitar playing and Tom Morello guitar solo, but Cornell comes in and hammers on this one like he always does. This kind of has more of his scream, kind of thing to it, where he does the harder, more raspier, edge, a little more of the kind of the metal sound, which I definitely liked that he did in Audio Slave. And Audio Slave was just a wicked band. I actually got to see them coincidentally with my buddy Johnny Salami, who was doing some moves, and his body was taking some angles I've never seen the human body take before when I was watching him from a couple feet back, when the crowd was moving and swaying. It was like he was at a 30-degree angle, and then he was at a 110-degree angle, and it was like I asked him after the show, how were you doing that? He says, I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, that's the Audio Slave B-side, is called Turn to Gold. And for the next one, I will go to Chris Cornell's solo work. And from the era of the Scream album that he did with Timbaland, which actually got, I don't know, kind of panned quite a bit, and people weren't digging it. I love that album. I think it's an amazing album, and it's actually exactly 60 minutes long, and they have a version of the album which is just one continuous play, and so it plays exactly 60 seconds. So it's a great album for the treadmill, and that's what I used to was my treadmill soundtrack for quite a while. You know what I mean? And it gets you going, and it's really pumping. But anyway, the B-side from that album that I enjoyed quite a bit was a song called Lost Cause, and it has a slick kind of like a slide guitar opening that my daughter said sounds like something you'd hear on Tulsa King, which I agree. It does kind of sound like a little bit of the opening of Tulsa King, but that's a great song. And finally, from Soundgarden, the marquee band who were working on the surviving members of Soundgarden are working on some new music to put out a posthumous album, which I'm hearing is coming out next year. Hopefully that'll be good. I got some, I don't know. Usually the stuff that they start on, I don't know if they got enough momentum to where they're going to get like any kind of huge like pop singles out of it, but any new Cornell I look forward to. But the Soundgarden B-side that I enjoy enough to where I'm going to make mention of it tonight is called Kyle Petty, Son of Richard. Now, the title doesn't actually have anything to do with the race car. Well, the title actually is, the Kyle Petty, Richard Petty's son. But the song itself doesn't, it doesn't mention him and doesn't talk about him. But it's another rockin', kind of a little more angry one, up tempo, a little aggressive, that kind of shit. That's the good Cornell. Not that all Cornell is good Cornell, but that's a rocker there. So the 3 B-sides for me for this week for Chris Cornell will be Audio Slave, Turn to Gold, Chris Cornell solo, Lost Cause, and Soundgarden, Kyle Petty, Son of Richard. You can find all those on YouTube, and I believe probably on Spotify also, but they're all worthy of checking out, especially if you're any kind of fan of Mr. Cornell, which I am, and I believe a lot of other people are. And with that, I believe that concludes Beyond the A-Side for this week. And if you have a suggestion of a band that you would like me to find a B-side for you or recommend something for you, I'd be more than happy. send that into powerspointpodcast@yahoo.com. And with that, back to you, Scott.
You know, Chris Cornell has like such a haunting, ghostly voice. I mean,
Absolutely.
we lost a legend, and they said the album would be coming out after their induction into the Hall of Fame,
Okay.
which is this coming Hall of Fame is they're getting inducted. So congratulations on that, Soundgarden. Uh,
Absolutely.
there are
Absolutely. You know what I hope doesn't happen though was
what's
I gotta admit I was a little disappointed with the way they did Nirvana. You know, they had Nirvana come out with like 4 or 5 different singers, and I don't know. I don't really feel like I don't really feel like any of them did anything for me. You know, I liked when Post Malone did it with them. That was pretty slick. You know what I mean? Because he had a little bit of that raw kind of, that energy to it. But when they had, and I love Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth, and but she was one of them, and I love Joan Jett, and she was another one of them. But I don't know, just in that particular instance, I wasn't really being rocked too much by what they were doing with that, and I kind of hope that they don't do that. You know what I mean, with Soundgarden, have somebody that like you would that doesn't really make a lot of sense come out and trying to do his parts and not doing him justice at all. That would be bad.
I concur with that one. Like I listened a few times today to Chris Cornell singing "Nothing Compares to You,"
Okay.
which Prince wrote for Sinead O'Connor, and she made it big. Uh,
Second mention for Sinead on this show. Is that something?
yeah, R.I.P. Sinead.
Absolutely, absolutely. Huge fan of hers, and I was always kind of like when I would tell people that when be like, "Oh, I love Sinead O'Connor." What? Like what? I was like, well, I'm kind of used to that though. With I got a lot of taste in music that people don't agree with, which is fine. But I've definitely always been a big Sinead O'Connor fan. When she sang Conor McGregor out to the fucking cage, that was pretty wicked. There, I don't know. Did you ever catch that?
No,
Oh man, when he came out to fight for the title, he fought Chad Mendez in his first title fight, and Aaron Lewis sang for Chad Mendez when he came out, but Sinead O'Connor sang for Connor when he came out, and that was just oh man, it was nice.
I mean they're both from Ireland.
Yes, sir.
Right, right. I appreciate her music a lot. I
Hmm.
appreciate Chris Cornell's music, and that leads me to my next segment, man. Appreciation Corner, if
Well,
you
I
will, Keith.
appreciate that. I
Uh,
appreciate you appreciating it.
so, I was thinking of people who I really appreciate, and there's a lot. There's a lot, there's groups, like the listeners here. I said I appreciate each and every one of them, even if I've never talked to them. They're giving up their time to listen to us, man. We're just Scott and Keith.
Right.
We're not like Stern and uh, Kyle and Jackie. We're not like that. And our numbers are steadily growing every day, and it's amazing. But I gotta say, I appreciate this week my wife Karen. She puts up with a lot of shit for me, man. Like I never stay home. When I'm supposed to be home, I'm always out and about doing things, and I don't have to, but for some reason, man, I'm addicted to Target,
Hmm.
and I say, hey, you want to go to Target? And she's like, you've been there every day, but fine, let's go if you feel the need, or, like I could be spending time with her, but I go to high school band, like, and she's cool with it. And I could be spending time, but I do the podcast. you know I can't be spending time with her here because she ain't up this late. But you know I get up, I work straight midnights, and when I get up, man, there's a dinner on the table. She does lots of stuff around the house, and and still puts up with my shit. So this week I appreciate her.
No
All right.
respect. Big respect.
Hell yeah! Like I could be like, oh, I've got a bunch of guys coming over for a wrestling show. Oh, I thought
Right.
we were gonna hang out. Yeah, but I got like 20. you know. So,
It sounds like that's happened before, though.
oh yeah, it's happened, man.
Yeah,
Uh, but she'd always make sure, when we had like 60 people, 70 people over for WrestleMania, she made sure there was dinner for everybody and then some. Uh, she made sure there was some like top notch prizes for like the video game competitions, like SmackDown back in the day when you know it was just SmackDown, right? On
right.
PlayStation or Xbox, so the winner would always get like a really good prize, be it money or like some wrestling figure that's like a chase, you know, uh always always, man, she goes way out of her way just to make everybody happy. Kind of like you, man. You go out of your way to make people happy.
Thank you. I try. Treat people as you want to be treated, right?
That's right. And that
Right.
leads me to welcoming everybody here to the Powers Point After Dark. If you're just joining us, you know, we talk about anything and everything. We don't talk religion. We don't talk politics. We're not going to start people fighting for whatever you believe, whether you're Democrat or Republican, Catholic, Christian, Muslim. We don't care. You know, uh, we look at a blank screen and that's what we see with people listening to the show. You know, as I said earlier, to me, this is like a big digital table and everybody's welcome to it. So if everybody, you know, can just go out and spread the word about the Powers Point After Dark, hey, it shows a little different. That show's kind of fun. That's all we want.
Yeah, and
And
do you remember when if you was a person who was into politics, you were like a dork?
yeah,
Yeah. What happened? Bring that back. Come on, bring
I
that
got,
bring that back. If you're into if you're a politics, whatever. Like, all right, well, fucking nerd, go over there then.
no one's ever, ever going to agree with each other over those two subjects.
Right.
And those two subjects lead to other subjects. I've seen best friends break up after like 30, 40 years over politics.
Oh man, you see people pulling the children away from the grandparents and shit. You know what I mean? Well, I've decided since he isn't gonna, we don't since we can't agree on this, he doesn't need to see his grandchildren anymore. It's like now that's just fucking terrible.
I agree. I agree. Welcome to the show, Julie. Uh, yeah, it's, you know, people are, around when voting day came, people were like, I didn't like how you're voting. I'm not coming to Thanksgiving. You know, it's like, come on, man. Just that's why me and Keith don't like this bullshit. We don't talk about it. We want everybody to come hang out with us. We want everybody to laugh with us. Hopefully, you'll take something away from this show. Hopefully, you'll be back to the show because we appreciate everybody. And we do give a. I just said do. We do
Yeah.
give uh, prizes out sometimes.
Yeah.
We got some cool ones. We got shirts. Around Christmas time, we're going to be giving away some cash. So hopefully you guys come back. What I'm going to ask real fast is if you like the show, to help us grow, give us some feedback. PowersPointPodcast at yahoo.com. Subject line, just put feedback. I know a lot of people are busy and this and that and got families or work is killing you, but if you could take the time from like watching a YouTube video while you're in the bathroom or watching a do-it-yourself program while you're in the shower, just real fast, leave us a review on Apple. If you're on Android, you can go to an app called Podcast Addict, and you can leave a review there. And no matter where you guys leave reviews at, I'll see them. So again, thanks for everybody popping in. But give us a like, a follow, a share. We're on every week, Friday nights at 2300 or, 11 p.m. Central Time. We've
That sounded so much cooler the way you said it.
we've talked.
2300 sounds so much cooler than 11 p.m.
It does, man. It does. So, we've talked to a lot of cool people on the phone with calls, and we always welcome call-ins. So if anybody wants to call, because we're going to be discussing pickup lines. Do they work? Or what's the stupidest pickup line you've heard or that you gave? Because there are a ton out there. So we'd love to hear that. But we are going to take our last song break. And then when we come back, we are going to be talking about strange pickup lines. Do they work? So stay tuned and make sure you all come back. Yeah?
Wires underneath my skin, pull me closer, draw me in. Every signal cuts so deep. You're the code I cannot keep. Static fire in the night, pulse and shadow, black and white. Electric hunger burning slow, can't resist, I lose control. Electric hunger, take me down, feed the fever, spin me round. Heat is rising, sharp and raw. Every touch rewrites the law. Circuits crash with every breath. Chasing you is sweet like death. Heartbeat caught in tangled wires, drowning deep in your desire. Electric hunger burning slow, can't resist, I lose control.
All right. We hope you liked that song. It kind of had like that, I don't know, Bowie Tears for Fears s sound to it.
Yeah, little. There's a band called Low Moon.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of their sound to it. I mean, they're not, a little more of an obscure one, but
And if people are wondering what that was called, Electric Hunger. So, love may be a battlefield, but tonight we're showing up unarmed with nothing but bad jokes. Here are some of the strangest pickup lines you'll ever hear. Got it?
this is gonna be good.
So, Keith, I know I never really discussed the topic with you because it's always like hearing your 100% raw. Uh,
Off the cuff, yeah, I like it like that too.
so I'm going to read some pickup lines, man. If you can kind of like maybe tell me like the person that it's coming from.
Okay.
All right. So the first one, are you a magician? Because every time I look at you, my clothes disappear.
um, what kind of person would I be coming from? Obviously, a kind of a cheesy person. You know what I mean? With the whole pickup lines, if you know what I mean, they think that works. But I don't know, why would their clothes be disappearing? I don't think that would be something if that was you just met somebody and you're like, wow, when I just met you, my clothes disappeared. That's the first thing you're offering is to strip naked. I don't know. That might be a little off-putting for someone just meeting you, you know what I mean? But I suppose it depends on who it is. Now, if you have a figure similar to mine or yours,
Yeah.
then yeah, no, that's going to be, fairly off-putting. But I imagine if you were a Matt Dwar type or a fucking, I don't know, a more attractive female, that could probably go over better, which really, I feel like the pickup line is kind of based on what you're already bringing, anyways. You know what I mean? You could have the same line done by a different person, and you're going to find a different success rate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Matt Dwar, by the way. I hope you're doing okay, bud.
Yeah, from what I hear, he is, man. He is.
Good.
It's a slow transition after the accident, and he's trying to get back to that Randy Orton shape.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
All right, next one, man. Do you like coffee? Because you perk me up.
See, that's a good one. I kind of like that one. That's a clever one. My wife loves coffee. And so I may actually have to use that one on her. You know what I mean? But then I have to use it before the show. So, or before she hears this show. So I may actually have to go wake her up and use that real quick. Be like, now that was mine. So if you hear that somewhere else,
Dude, I don't think you should wake her up, man, to drop some kind of cheesy
just a
line
pickup
on her.
line. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, all right, here we go. Are you salt? Because you make everything better.
See, what if they had high blood pressure? You know what I mean? If you said that to somebody with a high, with some HB, with some high HBP going on, they'd be like, "Nah, I don't make everything better." So no, maybe, if you're talking about if you're a piece of fine cacao, you know, then you sprinkle a little sea salt on there and some caramel, then it might be, it might make that a little better, but I don't know. That's definitely a funny one, you know what I mean? But salt's good for your skin too, right? You know what I mean? Do a nice salt scrub on the forehead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you see somebody at the bar, you walk up to them. Here's the line. Sorry. Are you a trampoline? Because I want to bounce on you.
Again, I believe an attractive female could pull that line off. Uh, Maybe not so much, even an average man, I don't think could pull that off. Now, I have a friend of mine, and I say friend in the biblical sense, before I was married, obviously, would tell me, she told me, if any guy ever came up to me and told me, use that line from the fucking Steve Miller song, um, the Joker, right? It's that line. If anybody came up to me and said, "Really like your peaches, want to shake your tree," I would probably just take my, what like that. I would probably just melt for that or whatever. And I thought, I kind of wouldn't mind testing that theory. You know what I'm saying? It's like if only the line is all it takes, then I mean, let's find us, let's find us a good handful of candidates here to come work this line on you and see if there's how that works out for them.
You writing these down, Dave? Uh, the next one. Are you an exam? Because I've been studying you all night and I still want to take you home.
No, that's a funny one. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one there. Now, what kind of person? Obviously, that would have to be some kind of scholastic athlete, right? You know what I mean? Someone very studious, to where they were speaking their own language. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do you like breakfast? Because you're going to be eating mine in the morning.
Oh, no, that just sounds disgusting. That sounds like, well, goddamn, son, what are you calling your breakfast? You know what I mean? Let's hope it's something, from the culinary world and not necessarily something from your body, because that's almost what it made it sound like, that you're gonna be eating my bodily function in the morning, man.
Just going to have breakfast and toss salad.
Right.
All right. Are you Starbucks? Because I like you latte.
Oh my goodness.
Would this stuff even make a female smile? Or
Maybe
that could
it
even be,
depends. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that could be used on either way.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, if it's done so tongue in cheek that they know that you're being ridiculous, but at the same time, um, you know, everything is already determined with or without the line. You know what I mean? If anything, the line could ruin what you already got going for you. You may have, just that chemical attraction going, and you come up and you pull the bullshit, and it's not yourself, but and then it doesn't. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then it doesn't work out. You know what I mean? Or even worse, it does work. That's the thing I always didn't understand is putting the shtick on. You put all these fronts on to attract people, men, women, whatever have you, whatever it is you happen to, be attracted to. And then when it comes to the long haul, they find out that all that was an act. You know what I mean? And you really, you know what I mean? And the first thing you do is you get around, well, I mean, I'm not really like that. It's like, well, that was, I assumed that I was around a fun person, not a fucking you're fun during the courtship and now you're depressing every fucking day. You know what I mean? It's like, well, maybe at least lead with that and you could have some honesty in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you're paying attention, Keith, our friend Dave there, he dropped one of his lines. If you want to read it for him.
Are you on fire? Because I'm melting around you. That's not bad, Dave. Is that straight from your repertoire?
I don't know why he said yep.
There you go. There you go. That's not bad, buddy. Obviously, it worked. You know what I mean? You got your, you know,
It's
you
got
got your
the
son, and you got, what I mean? You got the product of your success. You know.
got the Michigan pickup lines there.
There you go.
How about this one, man? Who would this come from? Hey, are you tequila? Because you're making my clothes come off.
It all seems to be about making the clothes come off, don't it? Yeah.
What the hell? All right, Keith. How about this one, man? Do you like storms?
Mm.
Because you're making me thunder down below.
I love it. Thunder from down under, right? Isn't that like a bunch of built dudes who dance?
That would be it, man. That would be it. Uh, how about this one, man? Dave, you writing this stuff down, man? Because if we can help you, the guy's like Rico Suave, man. Bringing
Nice.
Dave's the ladies, man. How about,
Awesome.
do you like spicy food? Because you're hot stuff.
That's a good one. That's a good one. What's your Scoville rate?
This one, are you water? Because I'm thirsty for you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's great. Are you?
These
Are they all questions? They're all, you're always assuming that they're some form of object, or some form of element.
Now, do females like these, or obviously they're very cringe?
Yeah.
Sometimes grab your drink and walk away. But how about Hey, my name's Scott. What's yours? Nice to meet you.
Right. And if that doesn't work, you're kind of, that's kind of enough.
Then it would have never worked anyway.
Exactly.
How about, do you like karaoke? Because you just hit all the right notes.
Could you imagine pulling all these in the same night? Same, you know what I
Oh,
mean? The same one. Like,
dude,
what if that was all you knew how to do? Like, you didn't know how to be yourself, and that's all, you're just sweating your ass off, like, and it's, but it's working for you. You know what I'm saying? And saying whoever it is you're trying to pick up that they're engaging with it. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, wow, and they're answering you nice, and you don't know how, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what to do other than just keep hitting them with more lines.
dude, I could see Will Ferrell and Jim Carrey like in a one piece like suit, kind of like Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd back in the day, two wild
Yeah,
and crazy guys.
yeah, the Czech
I could
brothers,
see
right?
them walking around. How about this one? Dave, you can understand this one, man. Are you a drill sergeant? Because you got me standing at full attention.
At full mass.
Dude, if I was single, and I'm not, thank God,
Mhm.
because the dating world is like no one's ever out there, out in the wild meeting people. Everybody wants to meet each other on apps, and then they don't like what they meet because everybody uses filters instead of like regular pictures, or they take group pictures with like 8 other guys and they don't even point out which one's them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they send the PR team out, huh? Yeah, nobody's honest. They send the PR team out with the airbrush and all the right angles and that kind of shit. You
Or
know,
people take pictures with their dogs and their, and the girl or the guy, they may be only liking the picture for the animal.
right,
So
right.
I got like 3 more for you.
Okay.
Do you believe in one night stands, or should we test it out first?
Oh, see, that's a little different. That's a little different. That's not necessarily are you water or any, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
Are you a dragon because you got me breathing fire right now? You know what I mean? Something like that. You know what I mean? Are you Van Damme because you be kicking?
uh, are you a fire alarm because you're making my heart race and I'm getting sweaty?
Nice. Are you social media because you're giving me crazy anxiety?
Do you like yoga because I want to see how flexible you are? Dude, do you have a mirror in your pocket because I could see myself in your pants?
Right, right.
I mean, God's sakes, dude. Are you a roller coaster because I want to ride you all night?
That's great.
How about this one? Do you like wrestling? Because I'm ready to go all night in the sheets,
There you
brother.
go. There you go.
Or
Hanging and banging.
are you an Uber, brother?
Mm,
Because you're getting me home tonight.
yeah, brother.
But that's it, because these lines are getting cheesier and cheesier, and in
Yeah,
my head, I'm starting to think that this shit's normal,
right.
and I want to, man, Keith, I really wish we lived closer to each other, man, because I would love to go to a bar and just people watch and see if people really throw pickup lines out like that, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say no, they probably don't, but you never know. It would be funny. It'd be funny to watch. But I don't know. I've been out of the game for shit, almost 25 years now,
Same
you
here.
know. Yeah, it's been a while and I was not real good at it to begin with, you know what I mean? I was so um bad at any of that kind of shit with like flirting or any of that. I know how to be friendly. I know how to be myself, be normal like that. But I would always catch that where I would say, well, I mean, he was kind of flirting with me, but like, what do you mean flirting with you? But I don't know what the hell flirting even is. You know what I mean? I
Right,
was
right.
terrible at it. I depended on aggressive women. you
Or
know?
or people say, "Oh man, she was giving you the signs." What signs?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
That's
I
me
didn't
too.
always
Yeah.
I didn't I didn't always get those. And I think me and Now you want to say it. Uh, hey, we're going to take our last quick commercial, and when we come back, we're going to wrap things up. So stay tuned. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Welcome to Yield House of Toys, your one-stop shop for all things action figures and toys. From new to old, wrestling to Star Wars, Marvel to DC, pop figures and more, we've got it all for you. Step into our magical world of imagination and let your inner child run wild as you explore our vast collection of collectible toys. Whether you're a fan of epic battles or heroic adventures, we've got something for everyone here at Yield House of Toys. So why wait? Come visit Yield House of Toys, located at 545 East 110th Avenue in Crown Point, Indiana, inside the Crown Antique Mall. Like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Yield House of Toys. Yield House of Toys, taking your toy collection to the next level.
He wasn't going to get me this time, man.
Right. Catch you slipping,
Hey,
right?
real-
Fucking lull you in, and then boom, huh? And it led you in. They call that freezing in like a boxing sense to say, you know what I mean? You throw something out to freeze them, and then when they look at it, bow. So that's what he does with that.
Hey, real fast. Keith touched on something just a little bit ago. If you guys got any subjects or you want us to like dive into something other than religion and politics, because we don't do that if you're just joining us, go to PowersPoint Podcast at yahoo.com. In the subject line, just put show idea and then send us an email. Or you can find me on Instagram at powers31911. I like people, so hit me up in my DMs or whatever. My DMs. I'm so cool, Keith. I got the lingo.
Sliding into the DMs. The DMs be popping.
Find me on on Facebook. I don't have a URL. Just look for Scott Powers. I'm sure it's the one with me in the wrestling ring or me standing next to a camel. Yeah,
Really?
just hit us up. It's not a real camel, man.
Huh. I don't know if I've
Get,
ever seen that picture.
yeah. I walked in. He looked like Joe Cool, man.
Okay.
He was in some Indian restaurant, and I was like, "Oh man, I remember those days from Somalia."
Right.
So, but yeah, go to PowersPoint Podcast at yahoo.com. If you guys don't want to leave reviews, I know it takes a whole 30 seconds, Keith, for somebody to type something out. Maybe
Yeah, I've left one, so
tell your friends about us. That's even faster. Just said, hey, every Friday at 2300 Central, there is a show called Powers Point After Dark. After Dark.
I like it.
Sorry, I'm getting tired, man. And they play some cool jams. They talk about whatever, and we like to interact with everybody. We don't leave anybody out.
Nope. That we
And
don't, and that's good.
yeah, and everybody's cool with each other in here. That's another thing that I like a lot. And no, every week I say this, but I appreciate every single one of you guys just spending time with us. You know, like I said, I'm just Scott. That's just Keith. We don't try to be anybody else. What's the quote, Keith? Be yourself because everyone else is taken.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And that's the, you're always going to be the best. You can never get outdone being you. You know what I mean? You be you. You can always, trying to be the next anything, you're always going to shooting for second. You know what I mean? You be the first you and the only you. You're always going to win.
And we got new people that been popping in and out throughout the night. Miss Angie, she seems to be staying with us.
Stuck with us the whole. Thank you very much, Miss Angie. Whereabouts are you from?
she's been quiet, but
And she chills. I like that too.
yeah. So, but Dave, man, we're a little worried because I thought you were under the weather. This dude sent me some Halloween costume pictures, Keith.
Okay,
And
of Dave wearing
I
them.
had to ask him if he was a Satanist. He was talking about him and his son being Silent Bob and Jay and Silent Bob,
That would be cool.
which would have been really cool. But then he went back to like hockey on video games and yeah.
Okay.
But
Dave, do you watch Shorzy? Since you're a hockey guy, I am not a huge hockey fan, but I absolutely love Shorzy, and from what I'm told, that from legitimate hockey fans, that it's pretty close to the real deal. That you know what I mean. That a hockey fan, it does very well. Oh, you're not a hockey guy? Okay.
but he plays on video games.
Well, that's the hockey video
Yeah,
games are pretty fun, man. Blades of Glory. Was it Blades of Steel? Not Blades of Glory. That's
Blades
a
of Steel.
Will Ferrell movie.
That was such a good game.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, like I said, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Whether you're the OGs, Mo, you've been on the quiet side tonight, which is cool, man. You've been through a lot the last couple days, and you're still here. That's awesome. And Dave, and he's got some new stuff for his man cave. He didn't send me the pictures. He's like,
Mhm.
what else I bought for my man cave, and then didn't send nothing. He must have fell asleep. Uh, yeah, Sean. Nameco rules, man. I wish that was one company that was still around, but unfortunately, they're not. Uh,
Were they the ones that did Blades of Steel? So did they also do like double dribble?
that had to be one of the first talking games, man. It was like double dribble,
Yeah.
and then that was it, except for like the referee whistles.
Yeah, that's the craziest shit. Now that you say that, I remember when they made the big deal out of Joe Montana's football actually having the commentary because it was called the Sports Talk Football. Now that first version of Joe Montana football, I thought was slick because it didn't it like all the teams looked somewhat generic. You know what I mean? It wasn't the NFL teams, and then they became the NFL teams like the next year, and then it was like off the fucking chain. But that first year I thought was cool because it still had like a fun edge to it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they weren't 100% on the realism quite yet. You know what I mean? Which to me, I enjoy. If you're gonna play a video game, it should still have some form of like fun element to it. You know what I mean? If I don't know, I mean, obviously realism has worked very well for me in video games and fucking got me some attention and shit. But I like I said, I like a fun thing too. Like I like fucking Donkey Kong and all that shit. You know what I mean? Now if Donkey Kong was a real gorilla and Mario looked like a real dude, I mean like that a real heavy set Italian man, that may not be as fun. Of course, now the way I described it, it sounds fucking ridiculous fun. So I'm
Keith,
destroying my own points here tonight.
Keith, Dave, he reminded me what his picture was. Man, it wasn't a Satanist.
No.
It was a exorcist priest.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's Dave. I really hope you don't go trick or treating still, man. We're 52, 53 years old, man. And this
Right.
dude's out there scaring the shit out of little kids.
Now you think if you wore a costume that was concealed you enough, what they would have to ask you to take your costume off if especially the size of kids today. I think you could be an adult and possibly still pull off the trick or treating if you were very discreet about it.
This is a. I'm gonna shit.
Mm.
Not I'm gonna shit. I'm, I'm gonna send you a picture of Dave's costume, man.
Okay. All right. See, now us being like 6'3" and 6'2", and that, you know what I mean, we may not be able to pull it off. But again, kids are huge these days.
Yeah.
All right, what we got here? Oh my goodness.
I don't even know, man.
Oh my goodness. Hey, that's fun stuff. That's very Halloween though. when it became like when did Halloween become sexy? Everything. Not that I mind that, you know what I mean. But that I don't know. That was like
It had
when
to
did?
be in the 70s.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Your son's 6'5". My nephew, actually plays football for Central Michigan, and he's I think 6'10", or he might actually be up to full on 7 feet right now. But he's a big old boy. Did I say he plays football? I just say he plays for Central Michigan, but he plays football, offensive line.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
You do tell me about him, man. You're a proud relative of his.
Yes, one of these times we're gonna have to bring him down to a backbreaker show. Would be pretty funny because my brother-in-law is actually one of them is 6'7" and another one is like 6'6". So I'm like one of the smaller guys. That's how I thought we could come, troop up the family. Heather's, and even my dad is 6'3", so it'd be some large beasts walking in the building. You know what I mean? They would definitely think my one nephew though they would probably figure he was part of the show.
Hey, I don't usually do this,
Yeah.
but I'm going to drop next week's subject on the show now.
Okay.
So
Tall children.
people, huh?
Tall children.
No,
We're
dude.
talking tall children all night,
Imagine that, tall children of the corn,
right?
and they're like
Fucking
taller than the corn stalks.
7-foot Malachi.
And so the next week's show, and this is even new to Keith.
Mhm.
It only happens in the movies.
Oh, that works.
And I want people, don't say it now, but I want people to think of something that you see in a movie, but it doesn't happen in real life. Like one
Anything that happens in the
when
Fast and Furious.
when a couple depart at the airport, and the guy's like, "Oh man, I'm going back for her." So he runs past security and runs back into the airport, which damn well you ain't making it past that,
Right.
and only to meet the love of his life and get that final kiss in, and it. So again, keep it for next week, and we're gonna dive into the things that only happen in the movies. All right.
Sounds good.
So we are going to leave you with this last song, and we'll see you next week. Next week's October 3rd. I'm going to be hanging out with Vancouver comedian Simon King, but I'm going to have to cut it short with him because I got to get back here to the radio. Even though I could do the radio from my phone, it says, with the same controls. So I'll mess with that throughout the week to see. So, Keith, as always, man, thank you for doing this with me.
Oh, this is a blast. This is a blast.
Dave,
This probably went by the quickest of any of the weeks.
Dave, Sean, Mo, Miss Angie, Steve, Julie, even though they didn't stay the whole show, we really appreciate every single one of you. Oh, Keith, real fast, man.
My ZZ Top rant? No.
So Sean absolutely loves putting our shows in halftime speed. He said that your rant, your Beyond the A side was ZZ Top.
Yeah.
You sounded like the stoner on the corner, and
did I sound like the Manic Mechanic ZZ Top? You want to race? That's why it sounded like him, huh?
but he loves putting us in halftime, man, because he says we sound so out of our heads. It's funny.
That sounds funny.
So
I had to do it myself one of these times.
The dude listens to a regular show and then he listens back to it in halftime. So, but we appreciate Sean.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to leave you all with this last song. Again, we'll be back next Friday. Hope you guys are all here with us. Laters.
See you guys.
City's quiet, midnight hums. Said Master Keith, yeah, he's rolling some. Scott's working, tweaking every line. Power's pouring after dark, where we're running out of time. Smoke curls slow, lights burn low. Another week of stories ready to go. Every river wink, every beat a sigh. We'll be back next week, same time, don't lie. Slide that guitar bass so deep. Feel the night before we sleep. After dark, grind, the show's wrapped tight. Scott and Keith keep it rolling right. After dark, grind, 11 p.m. Central. We'll be back, the ritual's essential. Finger snaps, the last drum hits. Smoke-filled studio, candlelight grins. Whispers linger, laughter low. Powers pouring after dark, now we go. Slide that guitar bass so deep. Feel the night before we sleep. After dark, grind, the show's wrapped tight. Scott and Keith keep it rolling right. After dark, grind, 11 p.m. Central. We'll be back, the ritual's essential. Keys blunt burning slow.
Yeah.
Scott notes on the page. This is the night. Powers point after dark. We'll see you same time next week. After dark, grind, the show's wrapped tight. Scott and Keith keep it rolling right. After dark, grind, 11 p.m. Central. We'll be back, the ritual's essential. After dark. After dark. Same time next week.